probably thought that that whole video yesterday was a lie, but guess what, mother bitches? I'm back! And we back with some more Lions Rant, where, let me first go over some stuff of... Firstly, I want to pay my condolences to the YouTuber Etika. He did not deserve the, ending that he received in life. Frankly, I thought he was an interesting fellow. I didn't keep up with him, I was not a fan, and I didn't really keep up with his YouTube, but I've heard people talk nicely about him that were his friends in life before his suicide. And I gotta say, I've heard a lot of nice things. I've also seen that he's a little unstable and he needed help. At the same time, I also want to cover this one thing before we get into the topic, because you're just like, oh man, it's starting to get sad. Don't worry, it's all going to be culminating to the same thing. But I read this article from my least favorite series of all time. No, not Riverdale. No, not that one either. Of 13 Reasons Why, officially now taking out the suicide scene from its first season, where you guys can probably hear all of my emotions about that one. And all of its glory. So, you're probably all just like, V, what are you getting at? What are you talking about? Why are we talking about all these sad things about suicide and how all this stuff if someone's mental health is in order? Guys, this is where the rant comes in. We're gonna talk about how, in all honesty, this whole shit about mental health and suicide, all these sort of factors we should have covered, but people are gonna wait until it's either famous people or famous topics to give a shit. I'm pointing this out for you guys because I've already stated publicly many times, I have been a suicidal individual. One of the reasons I couldn't go back into YouTube, for fuck's sakes, recently, was because I was planning my own suicide. I know how fucked up my mental health is because of my bipolar depression and several other things. I get it. I don't need people to keep coming up to me just like, your depression is gonna make you push over the edge and blah fuckity blah. I know, okay? I fucking know. I've been dealing with this for years. Me being homeless like 3 to 4 fucking times. Me getting stabbed, shot at, beaten the fuck up, having a bunch of near-death experiences from almost ODing and alcohol poisoning, reckless driving, 2 car accidents, and several suicide attempts. Pretty much solidify in my mind, I get it. Mental health is important. How we deal with things is important. But you know why people didn't make this a fucking thing for years, except for just call centers for just people instead of like these big protests? It's cause no one really fucking cared until it was someone either fucking famous, someone super prevalent on social media, or a big show where they try to glorify suicide along with rape. And you guys probably just like, V, I don't think you know what you're talking about. I mean, everyone's cared about suicide. I mean, we've had a lot of people in all of our walks of life talking about this sort of stuff, talking about these instances. You have no idea what you mean. Really? I don't know what I mean. Let's go over the facts first with Etika, where a lot of people I know when it came to social media, they either wanted to clown him because of his mental issues going on, encourage him to be even more crazy, and even with Keemstar, the world's oldest troll at this point on YouTube, decided to make his life even worse to make him almost ghost out of existence earlier. And all of a sudden, when he's found dead from just jumping off the bridge to drown himself, everybody that wanted to clown him wants to now act like they loved him. That does not rub me the right way, because there were millions upon billions of steps all of you fuckers could have done to prevent this. But what do? You decide to just goad the bear. Just make sure you inch it closer into the inevitable that everyone that fears every single facet of themselves goes to. Because none of you in this world that goad people with these issues thinks for 5 fucking minutes to stop and realize that maybe, just maybe, Your actions truly do have consequences until it's too fucking late. But what do you do when the actions are done? You guys want to take all these steps to then build up better moments here and there? Some of you do. I'm not gonna lie. It's getting better over the years, but we still have a majority that's just like, oh, let's just make all of this about our own guilt, our own feelings about where we were with this, and then just shove it out the window because it has nothing to do with us. We can go back to what we're doing. Ha ha ha, that person has depression. That's all you fucking assholes do, and that's why I fucking hate most people on social media. Cause a lot of you guys are fucking fake bitches. And then let's finally go back into my favorite punching bag. Yes, you 13 reasons why. I'm gonna go back to my other punching bags in different rant videos, cause we're going back to those. So, 13 reasons why. You guys want to eliminate that suicide moment. You guys want to act like you're so much more enlightened and like you finally understand why your show sucks. Oh wait, you're not gonna take out that one scene about that guy getting raped by a fucking broom handle or mop handle in season 2 that I heard so much about? You're just gonna take out the suicide from someone that wanted to make all these tapes to guilt trip people to glorify suicide because you had nothing better to do from this fucking author that knew nothing about suicide and about mental issues? Oh, I'm sorry. Was I supposed to give a shit? Was I supposed to be impressed? Was I supposed to give you guys a gold star for doing better? Instead of just maybe not making the fucking show in the first place? For God's sakes, guys. There are levels to this shit that no one ever considers in media. And it irks my very fucking soul, especially with 13 Reasons Why. What is one thing that anyone that has done suicide can tell you? It's not something to glorify. We don't do this to make people feel better. We do this because we're suffering and we feel like we're making others suffer from our existence. There is no, oh, I'm gonna make these tapes and just guilt people that I'm leaving this world for. Oh, I'm going to make everyone feel as miserable as I did instead of just sort of looking for real help. Oh, no one's gonna help me because I only reached out at the last fucking minute because no one's gonna take the moment to actually talk about things. That's not how this shit works! And I'm just so fucking tired of all of this nonsense because none of it ever gets me in a better place. None of this, these last few months when I had to read all of this in social media, in news outlets, in video essays, in so many different facets, made me feel better. Cause guys, newsflash for a lot of you all may think that just talking about mental health is one thing. You guys may think that just trying to do your condolences is one thing. But guess what? That old saying is true. Talk is cheap. Actions do better than words. Say better than words. Do better than words. Whatever the fuck you want to do with it. It means something when you put actual work, actual effort into this shit. Don't just make a whole Twitter post or a Tumblr essay or just a videography thing about this, because what you're doing is fucking dumb when you're just trying to be like, oh, I'm super fucking woke. I know what's wrong. I'm reading from these pamphlets. I know what it's like, when you obviously fucking don't. This is why you are all the problem if that's your mentality. If you're just saying these motions to then also do fundraisers and charities to get actual mental health facets, I applaud you. I appreciate your ever-loving existence because you get it. You get that this is an ongoing struggle that isn't just solved with words of like, we'll just talk things out and things will get better. If you're just one of those people that's just like,
oh, we can just talk the problems away. Everything will be fucking fine. Cause everything can be solved with pixie dust and rainbows and sunshine. And everyone will be fucking better. Does not do a goddamn thing.
You guys will never understand how angry I am for a multitude of reasons. It's the same way I could talk to certain people about being horribly molested. I know what it's kind of like, but I'm not like one of those people that like has that as PTSD for what they are suffering through. It's like talking to people that have had privilege their whole lives and then ended up poor. I kind of know what that's like, but again, privilege and me with this skin tone don't go the same way. Unless you're fucking Will Smith's kids. It's like trying to talk to me about all this sort of stuff about being refugees because you got ran out of your home. I don't know at all about what that means in all honesty, so I can't relate. Unless you've been in these situations, there is no room for you guys to try and act like your solution is the best solution, because not all things can be solved with just your outside influence on things. There are deeper issues to these moments, and I've wanted to talk about this for a while, but I needed the time, the energy, the focus to finally sit down and talk to you all about this, because not only is this a rage-inducing rant, it's also one that is very true, and I wish more people would take into consideration, because you can't just solve all issues by sitting down and talking. Talking can only go so far before the demons come back and just nudge their way into your very soul. Talking can only go so far before finally you hit the pavement of your own self-conscious, and then every single thing floods back to make you feel worse. Talking can only do so much, but it's genuine actions that dictate and define what the next steps are. If you want someone to get better, you don't egg them on to get worse. If you want some things to change, you don't wait until it's publicity for your next fucking season of a show no one cares about. If you want people to do better, you yourself need to act better. We are entering more and more different ages where people need to stop with this whole hatred mentality and flexing all their insecurities and shit about how they should do all this stuff, because we're not going to live a long period of time. We're not even going to live to see what 90 is like anymore. That's how bad this shit is getting. But if y'all want to be that whole insecure shit, just like, oh, I don't know, I'm just going to flex however I fucking want to because it's 2019 going into 2020. No one gives a fuck if I just flex out of nowhere because I only know what I want to see. If y'all want to be like that, that's fucking fine. Do whatever. If y'all want to be like what I'm trying to do of at least doing what I've either experienced, have seen firsthand, or know and have lost people from these sort of situations and do better, that's fine too. But whatever side you want to do with it, all I can say to y'all is c'est la vie.